Hey, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I'm using a really unique deck. This is a circular tarot deck. It's called the Accurate AF Tarot. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle the cards. And my intention with the reading this week, as always, is to get an overview of the week ahead and some of the opportunities, some of the challenges, some of the energies that might be coming up for us and how we can make the most of those. And basically just to get some kind of fresh ideas for the week ahead, some inspiration. All right. I feel like these cards remind me of planets because they're circular. All right, so if you're new here, welcome. I post these reading videos every week, so please feel free to like and subscribe and leave me a comment. I always invite you to share your own take on the cards. So let's begin with the first card. So this is for the beginning of the week, so Monday, Tuesday-ish, and here we have the Three of Wands. And the keywords on the bottom of the card, I don't know if you can see it because it's in gold, so it might be a bit tricky to read, but it says development and opportunity. Okay, so Three of Wands. All right, so, and my kitty's going to join us. She might start to get whiny, hopefully not. So Three of Wands for the beginning of the week. And as the card says, this is about development, opportunity. I feel like I have a really hard time talking about the Three of Wands without also talking about the Two of Wands, because I feel like these two cards are so intimately connected. And the Two of Wands is about contemplation and deciding where you're going to put your energy. And the Three of Wands is kind of what happens after you've decided where to put your energy and you've put your energy into something and you're starting to see some results. That is the Three of Wands here. So at the beginning of the week, pay attention to what's going on, because some of the things that are happening may be the result of where you're putting your energy. So that's, first of all, an important thing to consider. Whatever's going on for you, whether it's a challenge or something really amazing that's happening, it might be the result of where you're putting your energy. So paying attention to that. I also think that the beginning of the week, it's a good time to sort of continue on with, continue developing particular projects or tasks. Like for me personally, I'm going through this enormous task of clearing out all my cupboards and closets and drawers and my bookshelves, and I'm getting rid of things. I'm organizing things, and so I'm going to continue doing that. So Three of Wands is like continuing, like developing certain projects, whatever you're working on. And I also want to point out the symbolism and the energy, imagery. The symbolism and the imagery in this card. We have kind of two pillars, and it almost appears like a gateway, and it looks like these pointed crystals are kind of moving through that gateway. So a couple of things here. I feel like collectively, we are sort of moving through a particular gateway. This does feel like a card of progress and moving forward, but moving forward in kind of an incremental way. So the forward movement isn't necessarily like rushing forward. It's more slower, methodical movement. And then the crystal points to me just make me think of like focusing energy on something, right? Like the more you focus on something, the more you're able to kind of move forward with it. Let's look at the card for the middle of the week. So we have Dawn of Swords, and it says reflection and diligence. So Dawn of Swords. I'm going to guess that I'm just going to go out on a limb. I don't have the guidebook with me. I think Dawn of Swords is like Page of Swords. So I'm going to just go with that, and forgive me if I'm if I'm wrong. So the keywords are reflection and diligence, Dawn of Swords. And midweek, I feel like as the card suggests, reflecting is important. So reflecting on what it is that you've been creating or manifesting or where you're putting your energy. It's always good to pause and contemplate where you're going to put your time and your attention, but then you want to kind of check in with yourself throughout the week or throughout the month and kind of just observe things and think, okay, do I want to continue with these patterns with what I'm doing, or do I want to move my focus to something different, or do I want to change things? So I feel like some reflection kind of needs to happen midweek. And the other keyword on this card is diligence. And I think that is about being kind of diligent with where you put your time, where you put your thoughts and your focus. The Suit of Swords is a mental suit. This is about the power of the mind, the power of focus and intention, and the importance of basically paying attention to where you put your attention. And I love the imagery of this card. We have a woman leaping out of the clouds, holding a sword. And there's almost, again, like when I was talking about the Three of Wands, I said there was this sort of forward momentum going through this gateway. And the pointed crystals were like sort of that focused energy. And then with the center card, we have this, it feels exuberant, like this leaping motion. And it makes me also think of like taking action on something, like grabbing an opportunity. So you might find that an opportunity might be presented to you midweek, and it might feel like a small opportunity, but especially if it makes you feel excited and there's that whoosh of joy, it's really encouraging you to kind of go for it, sort of grab those opportunities that excite you. Okay, let's have a look at the last card. We have the Eight of Wands for the last card. And the keywords on this card are alignment and progress. And Eight of Wands is a card of movement, fast movement, like moving forward with a certain kind of speed. And like the card says, it's about progress. So it's a card of progress, but it's also about alignment. And if you want things to happen quickly, have you ever noticed, like, there's sometimes when you're trying to achieve a goal or you're trying to make something happen, and sometimes it happens really quickly and almost feels too easy. And other times it feels like you put in so much time and so much energy and barely get anywhere. And I think the difference is when something happens quickly and easily, it's because you were somehow aligned. Magically, you were in alignment. Whoops. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, the energy around you, everything kind of lined up. Everything was lined up perfectly. So even if you put in a little bit of effort, it was like blip, 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 and you're like moving forward. And if you're out of alignment, it can feel like you're trying and you're trying and you're trying and you're not getting anywhere. So this is about being in alignment. And I love that we got 2 Wands cards on either side of the reading, on either end here. And I love that it's these crystal points that are used to represent the wands. Because again, those crystal points make me think of like focusing your energy on something, like powerfully focusing on something. Okay, so let's zoom out. Let's look at all of these cards together. And let's just look for certain themes. Let's see if anything jumps out. And like I said at the beginning, you're always welcome to chime in here and leave a comment about something you're noticing, something you're seeing, or how this reading might relate to you specifically if you feel like sharing. Okay, I want to get some more practical insights out of these cards. I can't remember if what I just said sounded practical or kind of fluffy. I'm not sure. So I want to just have another look at these cards and see if anything else comes to mind. as I look at all three of these cards, okay, first of all, I'm noticing a progression. We start on the ground, we're in the sand, we're in the earth, and then boom, we're up in the clouds, leaping out of the clouds. And here we're going further into the clouds. And there's this beautiful rainbow that we actually see in both cards. I don't know how visible it will be in my video, but there's a rainbow on the second two cards. And so it does feel like progress. It feels like progression, and it feels like there's a lot of upward movement. And it makes me think of like spiritual ascension, or not even ascension, but like spiritual progress in some way. And sometimes it might feel like you aren't making much progress in the physical world. Like maybe you're still in the same job, still kind of doing the same things, but you realize that you're not the same person you were a year ago or 2 years ago, and that you have in fact progressed, but it's been in more of a spiritual way or an emotional way, and you've changed, you've grown. Even if your life for all purposes looks very similar, there is this shift in you, there is this change. And so I do feel like these cards are pointing more to that spiritual progression or spiritual development. And the other theme that I notice, I feel like this is also about focus. I feel like these cards are reminding us this week that where you put your focus is really powerful. And to really utilize that to the best of your ability this week. So I'll leave you with that. Where you put your focus is really powerful. And we focus on things by spending time on certain things, by spending time thinking about certain things. The actions we take are another way that we focus on things and put our attention on things. So just thinking about, where have you been putting your attention and focus lately? And is it working for you? Do you want to shift that a little bit? So I'll leave you with that. I'll leave you with that little question to journal about and to ponder. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun here. I hope you found this reading enjoyable and helpful. The deck I used was the Accurate AF Tarot. I'll put a link to that below if you're interested in checking it out. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week.